Alright, it came in late in the night. I was like going to make that video, guys. I slept off on set. Can you imagine? But finally, Erik Ten Hag stays. It was confirmed yesterday night, 13 hours back. Most of you know it that Erik Ten Hag is to stay at the club of Manchester United, and no one is obviously going to stand his way. And even a contract is really going to be given to him as a manager for the club of Manchester United. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. First video of the day. It's the 11th of, it's the 12th of June 2024, and now that means that it's gonna be something great for us to discuss. No longer discussing the managerial situation, and we're gonna be discussing only targets and what we call the out exits, of Manchester United. Let's see close to 400 likes matching this video, and don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims. Barakallahu Fik. Let's start it off with the man that broke the story, David Austin. He came out and said, exclusive, Erik Ten Hag to stay as Man United manager. Man United end of the season review culminated with decision to keep 54-year-old in position. After talks today, Dutchman will remain at Old Trafford plus hold negotiations over contract extension. Now, this is one of the moments that have gonna hate obviously shape the transfer of Manchester United, because we were even going to lose Mike Olise, right, because of this. And I know it's really going to act in our favor that now we have the manager and the contract is going to be handed to him. A lot is going to be put into place. Now, after that, we had Fabrizio Romano, who came in after, and he said Erik Ten Hag stays at Man United, stays as Manchester United manager. Decision has been made. Ten Hag has been informed after final decision by INEOS. Contract talks will follow up, as David Austin has reported. Ten Hag will be Man United manager for next season. So when I read this in the night, I was really excited, and I was like, all right, I kept my stance that Erik Ten Hag is going nowhere, and finally they've gone ahead to keep him at the club of Manchester United as the right man for the project of Manchester United. Then he also added that Man United have already started initial talks with Erik Ten Hag and his camp of a new contract. Negotiations will follow to agree on new contract. Keep going together also on summer window transfer plans in there for you, and Erik Ten Hag stays. And now one will ask, what's the importance of United giving Erik Ten Hag a new contract? Now, Erik Ten Hag is left with 1 year on his contract, and there is a further 1 more year that can be triggered. You understand? But for you to convince any player to come in and play for the club of Manchester United, you can't convince him to play for a manager whose contract is just having 1 year. You get? Every player will be like, no way, no way. With the culture that I've gone here to see at the club of Manchester United, every 2 years you change a manager. There is no way I come into Manchester United when you've gone ahead to obviously do that, unless otherwise you get in a new manager. And I know the type of the project, and for Erik Ten Hag, the type of a project is clear. He wants to build on youngsters and obviously get them to where they really deserve to be. So that is Erik Ten Hag for you, and we all know to it that it's really gonna go the right way into the mix. So I'm just excited for Erik Ten Hag, and we know very many people are really gonna be coming out and really celebrating this in their own way. And the minority, team Erik Ten Hag out, you are gonna really dance to your own bitter music. And this shows you the power of fans in the game. I tell you, if it was not the fans, you get? If it was not the fans, I tell you what, Ten Hag was not staying. Ten Hag was going to be knifed. That is it. If it was not the power of the fans, Erik Ten Hag was going to be knifed. That is it. So that is the power of the fans, and that's what the fans really get you when they really love you and back you. And remember yesterday, there is a story I really brought to you and included in there that Erik Ten Hag, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS well know the stance of the fans on Erik Ten Hag, on how much they love him, and they wouldn't like to see to it that this backfires. And what they had to do was to to give the fans a benefit of doubt and obviously keep the man that the fans want. Now, after keeping the man that the fans want and giving him a new contract, if he misfires in this season, they sack him, everyone will be behind INEOS and will be like, all right, they gave him time, he failed to prove himself. That is it. So that is what I've gonna hit obviously like about INEOS. And in a second, they had turned out to be the fans' worst ever people to come and throw at Manchester United. And a second later, they've turned out to be the favorites that they've gone ahead to stick to the manager. But we as people who are really critical to look at what really went ahead to obviously happen in the due process towards the end of the season, and now we have seen the incompetency of these people on how to run a football club like Manchester United. You can't take us 2 weeks plus when the manager is not even knowing exactly where it's going to be. And for Erik Ten Hag, I just want to thank him for his confidence and knowing that he's the right man for the job. Even when there were serious shakings, Ten Hag stood on the ground and said, I'm not going to really carry out those interviews with Barcelona and Bayern Munich. I know I'm the right man for the job. And everything is going to have to be done by INEOS, and they've gone ahead to come out with Erik Ten Hag as the best candidate. Looks like Erik Ten Hag was an interview through the review they've been making to offset it that they obviously sieve out the best. Ten Hag has not gone ahead to obviously come out as a residue. He has come out as a filtrate, and guess what? He's really doing great, and I'm excited about that. And there are photos that I saw yesterday night when he was in Ibiza, and I was like, if these photos are really out, that means there is some good news. Though I never came out obviously including the story, but I just got to know that the moment these photos are out, there is some good news that we're going to hear from the side of Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag. And for Erik Ten Hag, he was really too confident that even when he won the FA Cup, he told them, who were asking that he's going to be sacked, he told them that, please, if they sack me, I'll go elsewhere and I will win trophies, because that's what I've been doing throughout. So would like to really congratulate Erik Ten Hag for obviously keeping his job at Manchester United. It hasn't been an easy situation, but I've always told you that I want this man to stay, and the moment he stays, you are going to see the fruits of him really staying. Erik Ten Hag is known to be delighted with the outcome on Tuesday, although there have been suggestions he was getting irritated at the time taken for Man United to reach their conclusion. So obviously he's delighted that he was going to have to keep his job, and I know why. He's really excited. When you look at the youngsters that he sees in the academy of Man United, he's like, I can do a job. I can do a job for these people. You understand? And it was like denying him an opportunity to obviously get these youngsters into the first team. And one of the youngsters that was going to obviously show his gratitude to Erik Ten Hag's staying at the club of Manchester United has been Whitley. Whitley, he's just 17-18 and made his debut for the club of Manchester United. I think when you're playing, I don't remember the team, when the team were playing towards the end of the season, he came in through and really played, and Erik Ten Hag loves the player die. So in the due course of doing that, the players, the youngsters are really excited. I even saw Alejandro Garnacho go ahead to obviously like the post, and you're going to see very many other players excited. And this marks the doing that Sir Alex Ferguson was in. If I take you back, as we started the Premier League, Sir Alex Ferguson had gone ahead to spend, I think, 5 years at the club of Manchester United. I think whether 4 or 5, and he hadn't gone ahead to win a trophy. But what saved him was winning the FA Cup. But he was going to be sacked. And I'm like, INEOS wanted to replicate exactly what happened to Sir Alex Ferguson when he came into Man United and won an FA Cup and wanted to get sacked, and the FA Cup saved him. And it looks like they want to resonate this history together. And for Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't know what his input is, but I think he's one of those managers, he's one of those people that stood in for Erik Ten Hag, because Ten Hag has gone ahead to change the culture at the club of Manchester United totally. He has changed it totally, and he's really the main man to obviously get ongoing. So we are waiting to see who United is going to be signing next as their first signing of the season, who is leaving, and how Erik ten Hag is going to be starting his preseason, because we all know that towards the end of this month, Ten Hag will obviously start to train. Players are going to be getting back and see how things are really gonna formulate, because I know he has some youngsters that he believes have huge potential that he's going to be putting onto that preseason. For example, Whitley, Kambwala, Amaz, those youngsters that we haven't gonna hit to see more regularly, and I know they're really gonna be starting the game of Rosenborg that we're gonna be playing very, very soon. By the way, before I really sign up and I call in for your reactions, let me show you what fixtures, what players are we gonna be into, and I want the fixtures of Manchester United and what teams are we gonna be playing. Now, on the 15th of July, that is like a month from now, we are going to be playing Rosenborg. Then on the 20th of July, we are going to be playing Rangers. Then on the 28th July, we are going to be playing Arsenal. Then 1st August, we are going to be playing Rio Betis. And 4th August, we are going to be playing Liverpool. And after that, we'll be returning around the 11th or 12th or 10th to play into the Community Shield against Man City. Meaning that Erik ten Hag is going to have to be handed another chance to prove to Pep Guardiola that I can edge you. And this time round, he's going to be having his players all back. And you anticipate that at that juncture, Manchester United will be having its players back. But I think Erik ten Hag will name the same starting 11, though he will add in other players like Luke Shaw, and I can even read the lineup here. I expect Onana to be in goal, Dalot as the right back, Luke Shaw left back. Then Lisandro Martinez, I know, will be partnering maybe Todibo or Harry Maguire into that central defense. Then if Amrabat is signed on a permanent, it will be Amrabat, Kobe Mainoo in the double pivot, Bruno Fernandes ahead of them. I anticipate Alejandro Garnacho to take part, Rashford to take part, and Rasmus Højlund to obviously lead the line. So that's what I believe the starting 11 for Manchester United is going to be during the time of the Community Shield. So he has been handed a new chapter, and I know it's obviously going to start off well. And I know this is one of the things that Man United have just done for the second time ever since Alex Ferguson left in the previous 10 years. Remember, Moyes never lasted for a season. Louis van Gaal lasted for 2 seasons. Mourinho, he was here for 2016, 2017, 2018. In his second season, he got sacked. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he lasted for some good seasons, 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021. You understand? Sorry, 2019, 2020, 2020, 2021. 2021, he got sacked in November as he started his 3rd full season. And Erik ten Hag is starting his 3rd full season at the club of Manchester United on a high, because we all know what he stands for, and he is going to obviously get in huge youngsters into this side of Manchester United. So guys, smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Erik ten Hag stays at the club of Manchester United, confirmed. What do you make about it? I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. We out.